tale starts with young Henry on the 12th of July in Concord, Massachusetts, when he first opened his eyes. The adventurer grew quite quickly, it seems. When he entered the room, he made quite a scene. He had a beard on his neck, a prominent nose, and a knack for adventure wherever he goes. "Behold, the butter stinketh," he proclaimed to his mates, and they rallied together in the great butter debate. "You will all be suspended," the principal yelled, "unless the instigator steps forth from the crowd." Not one word was uttered, not a cough or a squeak, and the whole class was suspended for one long whole week. But the butter improved, the rebellion was won, not a punch was thrown, just a word off Henry's tongue. Young Henry's friend Waldo taught him to read and to write, and as no shock to Waldo, young Henry was quite bright. His essays were clever, his Latin was strong. Aulus Persius Flaccus is where it begun. He was a lover of wisdom, he loved nature and words, he loved sitting outside and spying on the birds. "Transcendentalism," he told to his friends, "is what I believe and what I'll defend. I learned by adventure and not being told. Nature holds the answers and God is so old." Then one day on adventure, an accident occurred. Henry set fire to a field where he stirred. "It's like 300 acres, Henry said with affright, and then the firemen came and all was all right. But Henry was changed and he chose to commit, to become one with nature in a place much more quiet. So he moved far away from his comfortable life. He said bye to his family and left into the night. For the next 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days, Henry wrote and wrote, perfecting his ways. Walden Pond was its name, and he loved it the same. The trees and the breeze, Henry's big claim to fame. When he finally went home, he was way behind on his bills. The taxman came knocking, demanding his fill. But Henry wouldn't pay them. He didn't believe in their cause. And it was this famous day that Henry became an outlaw. He went straight to jail without a tear or a pout, and he stayed there all night till his aunt bailed him out. My citizen role can be better defined if I protest the flaws and not fall in line. Henry would change the world one word at a time. He would travel the world, oh, the answers he'd find. With the stories and essays and diaries and quotes, he and his dog loaded up the boat. As he looked out to sea, Henry said without failing, "Are you ready, Moose? Now comes good sailing."